Hi, folks. All right. So, in theory, you should now be seeing me with a lovely medieval style background and hopefully not a lot of background noise. And um, yeah, so I'm using the new video editing software and I'm going to be attempting to show you a video that I made earlier with commentary involved. So, we'll see if this works, okay? So one of the things that happened today was that I got mail, which was exciting because we're all kind of like dogs right now. Anytime something arrives, we're all like, oh my gosh, I go jumping at the window. So I got 6 packs of seeds from the library's Victory Garden program. The first 3 that I got were not period to the medieval period. So I'm still growing them because yum, and free seeds are always good, but I will be growing them in a separate section of the garden. So I got New England pie pumpkins, and I think that's going to be really delicious. Pumpkins can be finicky to grow, but they're usually a lot of fun, and I have a little sort of miniature bed that I can put 2 hills in, and that should grow some nice pumpkins, and hopefully that will work. I also got glass gem corn, and that's the stuff that's it's colorful and bright. Corn is not my best crop, but there's not that many seeds in here, so I'm thinking I'm going to give it a try and we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping it will work and it will be kind of in the back of my medieval bed, but of course it's not medieval, so we're just going to pretend it's not there. And the other one I got was mammoth sunflower, and again, not period because they're a New World kind of thing, but so pretty and gorgeous, and there's no way I'm not planting giant sunflowers because giant sunflowers are awesome. I might have enough in the pack to make a sunflower fort, which would be really cool. Because who doesn't like to crawl into the center of a bunch of beautiful sunflowers and hide? But the 3 that I got that are period, the first one was a kale mix. And the kale mix, I don't know what kale is in here, but kale basically comes in 2 types. It's either broadleaf, which is kind of flat and round, or it's curly, so it's all wavy and stuff. It might not be period breeds of kale, but kale has been around since about 2000 BC, and it started in the Mediterranean, so it is well within the SCA time period. So this will be going in my medieval garden, and I'm really looking forward to growing it because I love kale. If you're not a big kale person, I'll be posting up at some point my recipe for white bean and kale soup, which is actually a vegan soup. It's really delicious and I love it. It highlights the kale and it has such good flavors. And the kale is it's crunchier than spinach or lettuce or cabbage even, and so it doesn't disappear into the soup. You get to actually enjoy the flavor of it. I also got Ancho gigantea peppers, which are these big peppers. They're green when they grow, but when you dry them, they turn red. And you probably know them because they're Mexican and they star in things like pork carnitas. And those are really delish. And at first I was like, well, they're not period because I know they come from Mexico, but I went and looked it up and they actually were taken over by some of the earliest people who went to Mexico. So in 1493, these things were growing in Europe. So they are actually well within period for the SCA, and they could possibly have been in an English garden, certainly would have been in a Spanish, Italian, that Roman, that kind of area. So yeah, these are going to go in the medieval garden, and I'm sure that my family will love it because they love Mexican food, and at least some of them happen to like spicy stuff. So anchos aren't like terrifically spicy. They're kind of mild in the pepper world, but if you leave the seeds in, they get more spicy. So just a hint for you. The last one that I got from the library was culinary sage, and that's the one that I'm really excited about. Sage of all kinds are period pretty much throughout the world, and they were grown in England, and sage is one of the things that I really wanted to have growing in my herb garden. I had sage in there originally, and it lasted for like 6 years, coming back year after year, and it just finally has kind of I mean, I'm sure there's a few little pieces in there that will probably try to come back this year, but they're pretty dismal. So I'm going to pull it all out. I'm going to put in fresh soil and redo it. I'm really excited about this because it's the kind of thing that would have been in a medieval garden. Sage and many other herbs were used on a regular basis. And I will tell you, sage is really easy to grow. It's basically a weed. So if you throw it in the dirt, you scrabble it in and make sure nothing eats it during its like little miniature stage when it's first sprouting, you pretty much are guaranteed you're going to get a bumper crop. And you can cook with it as a fresh herb, like in Italian food and stuff, but you can also use it dried over the rest of the winter. You can have rubbed sage, which you can make yourself. You don't even need a dehydrator to make dried sage. You can dry it in the oven if you want to dry it fast, or if you want it to have that little browning to it. I just air dry it. I hang it up on the ceiling and let it dry on its own, and it's fine. You can powder it. You can rub it so that it's in kind of chunkier if you want to put it into olive oil and use it for rubs on roasts or on chicken and stuff like that. Or if you have a bunch left at the end of the year, you can wrap it up really tight and make yourself a sage bundle, which you can use for saging your house and blessing everything. Yay! So that is where I'm at with the garden stuff there. Now I'm going to attempt to make the video play for you guys. And if this works, my face will go down into this corner and you'll be able to see me still talking, but it will put the video up in the main screen. So let's see how we do. Transition. Hey, there we go. It worked! Yay! So this is the garden. These are the two beds. Excuse my terrible wonky walking here. But these are the main beds that I worked on last week and the week before. And the back bed there is the one that I worked on today. The flowers thing there the flower box will actually have flowers in it. Probably pansies, but maybe marigolds, whatever I pick up. This bed here has been a tomato bed for the last few years, but is going to be for beets and carrots. The one you're passing on the right will end up being the ancho peppers. And, this is my rhubarb. I don't know if you can see it well enough. I cut it apart. See, there's one there. There's two there. And then there's one off to the side. There it is. And that's the original one, and it's looking amazing. They're all doing great, even though I totally hacked them apart. There's more in here kind of hiding, and since I took the video, I've actually cleaned out these two beds. These tires here are going to be for my tomatoes this year, which obviously are not part of the medieval garden because tomatoes weren't part of medieval stuff, but they're too yummy to get. I'm not giving them up. Over here, just to give you an overview there, that back bed, I don't know what I'm putting in there. I have to go look at my plans. These are my Egyptian walking onions, and you can see they're like the earliest crop to come up, and they grow so easily, and you can start using them as soon as they green up. Back there I have caged in little blueberry bushes because I don't want the deer to eat them. And these tires over here are the herb garden. And if you look here, these are all Egyptian walking onions that I yanked out of the main bed. So if you are local to me and you want Egyptian walking onions, please come get them. I did have some chives in that exposed bed that was there. And that's the end of that. Yeah, so that's the walkthrough of my garden, and I'm hoping that all worked the way it's supposed to. Guess we'll find out when I look at this in playback. I was really excited to have everything kind of coming together today. Yesterday was such a crappy day, and I hated that it was raining so hard. It was just pounding and pounding, and my head was hurting. Today I'm feeling a lot more optimistic and up. The sun was shining. I got a little bit of a sunburn on my face, and I'm okay with that. I think I needed it, you know. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I hope you guys got a chance to get outside and, you know, remember to drink the water, eat the food, wash the body, brush the teeth, do all the do things, okay? I love you guys, and I will see you soon.